Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our week 5. It is May 18th, and this is your English video. Yeah.
Thank you to those of you that watch our videos. We're going to go ahead and give you a shout out later on. Today's agenda is to go over the thesis statements first and give you some feedback on those, to go over some of the questions that folks had as a result of that Google form that you turned in, and to go over your assignments for the week, and lastly, those appreciations. So if you like to skip around, those 15 of you that answered that way, just make sure you focus on at least a little part of each of those sections so that you can get some of that valuable information. Mm-hmm. First up, we have the thesis statements.
Yay! So the thesis statements, y'all, if you have turned in your form, then you have a grade for your thesis statement. As of this morning, that was 82 of you. So if you haven't turned it in, please do so. I'm trying to get those graded ASAP. These are 5 that definitely have a 4. Okay, so COVID-19 has impacted world systems by calling attention to the undeniable digital divide amongst students, the disproportionate and deathly toll on the Black community, and the largely vulnerable homeless population grappling with the increased struggle obtaining basic necessities to live. I honestly don't think I could have written a better one, like myself. Like it's arguable. It takes a definite stand. It's specific, but it doesn't summarize. And I mean, it's definitely, in my book, a 4. So thank you for writing that. So if you want to read more, you can pause the screen. But my lesson for this week, I actually go into looking at a 2, a 3, and a 4, what I was thinking as I was grading, how I graded it, and why they got the grade they did. So please look out for my video, which will be posted in a couple of hours, if it hasn't been already, for more info, feedback, and yeah, just general shout outs.
See, that was so easy. I hope you skipped none of that.
I know.
Next, I wanted to talk about one of the things, the misconceptions that we saw in a few of your thesis statements. In writing your thesis statement, we wanted you to notice the inequities. And inequities does not equal positives. So this goes back to that first article that I had y'all read, where some of you didn't read it and just focused on the tweets about how the dolphins are swimming in the Venice canals. COVID-19 is not a positive. There's things that we are seeing that seem to be improving certain parts of Earth systems. However, what we want you to focus on is how COVID-19 has actually shown those inequities that the systems are embedded with. And so if you're talking about how, like, look, it's like making water pollution go away, or it's decreasing air pollution, you're not really focused on the inequities, which means you're only focusing on the positives, which means you're not getting a 4.
So if you want to get a 4, you're going to resubmit your thesis statement, and maybe go back and watch that video that we did. Just throw that out there. Please watch it. And read our whole commentary on how, even though we want to focus on the positive because we don't want to be super depressed about COVID-19, the point of this is to process all of the inequities that are seen. Okay.
These were some of the questions that came up as a result of the Google form that y'all turned in. I would say the number one question is, do you have any examples of projects? And as you noticed, Stephanie, no, we don't, because this is the first time we've ever done it. So in order to give you examples, we have to create them, which we're gonna do. In fact, on the next slide, I will go ahead and show you an art piece that I created. Miss Holbert's gonna do an Instagram, and then together, she and I are gonna make a video on how to record a podcast with a friend. Long story short, you can Zoom it, you can record it, it's a podcast. One of the questions that I got that I thought was a good one was, can I do an infographic as art? Yeah, sure. As long as it includes all of the pieces from that rubric
So when you're doing your project and looking at your rubric, under English 10, so in Holbert's gradebook, you'll be seeing a grade for synthesis and for data, okay? But when we are looking at the delivery and the overall presentation of it, that will show up in your GA gradebook with Miss Rivera.
Somebody else asked, does the video log have to be a vlog, or can it just be a video? Y'all, make your video. We just need a 2-minute video, period.
Yeah.
Somebody else asked, can we be inspired by images online for our art piece? Yes, absolutely. Do you Minecraft? No.
I used to, but I don't anymore. Okay. Yes. So how do we include our sources if we choose the IG post option? In my example, I will show you that. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we're going to post a few more videos on those things.
So, did I cover all of these questions? Oh, this one.
Can you do office hours later in the day? Hey, this question came from Francis Salgado. And you know what? We decided, yes.
Yeah.
We are going to do a special office hours this week. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll tell you about that in a bit.
Woo-hoo.
Before that, I did want to address the question of what is art.
Y'all took an art class with Gower. Like, if you don't know what art is, then email him and be like, hey, here's my thesis statement. How can I make this art? Gower, in fact, I talk to him every week. He said, yeah, let him know that they can email me. I got nothing to do over here, right? We're all at home. And so email is the best way to get a hold of him. And he's just waiting for all of your emails. So if you want help turning your thesis into art, talk to Gower.
Now, I personally wrote a thesis. I'll read it out loud. COVID-19 has highlighted inequities in the world by exposing the lack of access to mental health care, limiting availability of adequate and affordable childcare, and proving that there is insufficient access to green space like gardens and parks in predominantly Black, Indigenous, people of color communities. I go on, and you're welcome to pause the video and read all this, but the way I'm feeling about COVID-19 and the way I'm processing it is like, I'm trying to keep my baby safe, not just from the disease or the virus itself, but I'm also trying to keep my child safe from all of these external worries and anxieties. Like, do we have toilet paper? Do we have access to healthy foods? Like, we can't go outside.
Like, I have worries about family members and immigration, and I have worries about like mental health, right? Like, all of this is just bearing on me. And so it's a lot. And sometimes it feels like too much. And all I want to do is just focus on my child. And so the way I process that is by thinking, first I sketched out like what this could look like as art. And then I made a collage with visuals and images that I wanted to include. And then I had it drawn. So there you see my final product of what is art, including up here a art statement that would go along with it. And I did use data from a University of Illinois article about green space during times of COVID-19 and how that impacts both mental health and physical health.
Moving on.
Yay! So our assignments for the week. The biggest one, which I definitely want to emphasize, is your thesis. Edit it or submit it. I did want to be super specific with your grade can change all the way up through the end of the school year. Remember, we accept late work no matter what, no points reduced for it being late. So please get them in as soon as possible. Rewriting your thesis can be submitted through a variety of ways, including email, DMs on my Instagram, Hufflebert. We even, with a couple students this week, did Zoom meetings and then also video chat through Insta as well. So pretty much anything that you can get, how you can get your thesis to me, please do it. So yeah, continue to work on your projects, please and thank you.
Which are due on June 4th at 8 p.m.
And again, please reach out to me or Ms. Rivera for ideas, help, come to our office hours, which we are announcing a new time in a minute. And then just please, again, and thank you, Ms. Rivera, for being so honest and open with like your experience and how you're processing and still connecting our experience of COVID-19. appreciate someone in your life, y'all. Like, we're all going through it in very different ways. One of the best things that I think a person can feel is appreciation, besides love. So appreciate someone in your life.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have your appreciations. You get an appreciation. You get an appreciation. Listen.
If we appreciated you last week or the week before, we're probably not going to say your name again. But that doesn't mean we appreciate you any less. Like, it just means there's so many of you we want to appreciate, and we want to make sure everybody gets a turn. So this week,
I would like to start with Miss Francis, who asked the question, can you do an after hours, office hours, or at least some office hours later in the day? She didn't ask me like that. That's how I'm saying it. And the answer is yes, Francis. So thank you for putting that out there and giving us that idea.
Cool. Next, I have Gio and Jeremy, who you know I call Jer Bear. But Gio and Jer Bear have reached out. They've been super honest and kind of vulnerable with what y'all are going through. And I just wanted to appreciate you and thank you. And I know that you can get your work done, and you'll do it. And that's all we got to say about it. So thank you.
Cool. I would next like to appreciate Brian Keller for reading my mind and not needing to watch the videos. JK! Listen, Brian, you're consistent, you're wonderful, and just want you to know that I appreciate the effort that you put into the work that you turn in. Thank you.
Absolutely. Next up is Obed and Freddie. The amount of meetings that we have scheduled, the emails that have gone back and forth, like, y'all are hitting the ground running with your work. And I know that especially after such a long time of maybe focusing on other things instead of schoolwork, getting back on that grind can be super hard, but y'all are doing it, and I appreciate you and thank you.
Next up, I would like to appreciate Jocelyn M., Juliana R., and Angel Herrera, because they told us they watched our videos and they're our #1 fan, and they also gave us comments that said that they really liked these videos. So we want to thank you for watching them, and we do this for you. We do this for our fans.
We do it for the fans. Yeah, anyways, last for me is Mariah and Aya. From the beginning, I know that y'all's hearts were in the right place with your thesis statement perspective, but when I gave you feedback, it was an instant turnaround, and I know you've been working and collaborating together for hours already on this project, and I think both of you are awesome. So I can't wait to see how your Instagram page turns out.
My last two are going to be Jasmine Barraza and Leah. Y'all, even before this pandemic, were always so communicative and so positive, and thank you so much. I appreciate you as human beings.
Mm-hmm. And final is Leah, sweet. Your thesis was incredible. You are incredible. Keep it up, babe. You got it.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you've stayed with us until the end, this is your reward. You get to see my child Ezequiel Bautista, aka Zeke, aka Smush, aka Fussy, and we have some special announcements for you. First of all, our after hours office hours this week are going to be Wednesday at 9 p.m. That's right, you heard it here first. Miss Holbert and I are going to be collabing on after hours via Zoom, and it might just be us in our pajamas.
We will be in our pajamas. I will be eating popcorn. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna do like a whole like pajama-rama Zoom office hour. It'll be fun, and you should all be there.
And last announcement is project is due on June 4th. It's a Thursday at 8 p.m. So unless you have to resubmit your thesis, you can get started on working on your project, which is due on June 4th. We love you all.
Love you.
Thank you for joining us, and
we'll see you next week.
Okay, dance it out.
You can also, wait, pause, Betsy.
And action. Or edit. So anyway, edit. Good. I'll edit this out. And then I had to look up what Minecraft was. Actually, I was like, go into Google what Minecraft is. Okay.
It's fun.
And then